Ooh. What you know about that?
Oh, I like that. New shit.
Yeah, I downloaded all this. So what we'll kind of do is
Speakers got bass.
yeah, it's nice. And then I can see Thanksgiving on our thing. We went 0-3.
Yeah, we got to talk about it.
It's gonna happen.
You got to make fun of yourself. Yeah,
It's gonna happen, dude. In all fairness, though, Detroit wasn't your pick. That was kind of mine.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, people lose best. That's what it is. Honestly, being honest about it's the best.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we're gonna jump right into our bad beats cast. Our bad beats cast. So this is where we kind of go in and we go over all of our bad beats of the week. Honestly, Steak and I had some pretty bad ones this week. They're very fun to talk about, so let's talk about it.
I mean, you say they're very fun to talk about. What I'm about to talk about is not fun.
Sick.
So this Sunday, I took a 7-leg parlay, all anytime touchdown scores, 200 to win $36,000 on the Hard Rec Bet app.
36,000, folks.
Bijan Robinson, Derrick Henry, Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, Jalen Hurts, and Josh Jacobs, all to score touchdowns. 6 out of 7 did. The one who didn't, Travis Etienne, got stuffed at the one. 2 different drives, he got stuffed at the one. There was actually one where there was 1 second left at halftime, and they decided to go for it, and he got stuffed at the one. And then he had another carry at the one in the third quarter. So, yeah, 1 yard from Travis Etienne cost me $36,000. And so, yeah, I mean, there's one more I should talk about. Yeah. For some reason, I woke up Saturday morning and Auburn lost to New Mexico State. And I was like, damn, they're 13.5-point dogs to Alabama. Like, they're going to win this shit outright. I even tweeted it on my Twitter. I said, I'm coming back from the future to let you know that Auburn is beating Alabama outright. And so to lose that on the last play of the game as a 4th and goal from the 30 fucking yard line, bro, I was sick. And I was with my entire family for Thanksgiving. And they know I'm a degenerate, but sometimes I wonder if they understand, like, add 1,000 to win fucking 5,000 on
like, how
Auburn.
big of a degenerate are you?
Yeah. And so they're looking at me like, is he good? Or I didn't say a word to anybody. I'm just watching the game. It's a great game, dude. Iron Bowl. Like, everything's good. Everyone relax. But yeah, I was freaking out inside and I just couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe, bro, that they threw that. I guess you could call it a Hail Mary or whatever. Auburn just.
I don't see how you messed that one up, man. I agree with you. I actually didn't bet on Auburn. I actually took the under in that game. So I was in the same boat. I don't know if you remember, but it was 47.5.
Did that play make it go over?
That play made it over.
You got fucked, dude. We got our ass kicked this week, in case anyone was wondering.
Yeah, it wasn't the best thing ever, but I mean, the fact that they were able to do that was honestly absurd. It was classic Alabama style.
Yeah, and also classic Auburn. That was a choke.
Yeah.
Even the best team in the country shouldn't be able to run that play on you. If you need to get a 30-yard stop with no time left on the clock, you should be able to get a stop.
That's crazy. So let's move on to my bad beat. Adrian will put this on the screen for you too. But basically, I bet a lot of player props. I tend to do this on Sundays just because I have, I'll just look at defensive ratings. It's kind of like how I make most of my picks. And I'm like, okay, well, these guys are allowing 100 yards per game. These guys are allowing, 60 yards in the first half. So I kind of go off of that. Derrick Henry, I had Ford, I had C.J. Stroud, 2 touchdown thrown. Kansas City, Mahomes, same thing. Everything was just hit. Honestly, most of them were no sweaters. Henry got his last yards in the fourth quarter, is what it is. Yeah. But everything else hit fairly soon. So I was like, okay, that's cool. Now, Hard Rock gives you an early cash out option, right? And he'll show you that too. Basically, I could have cashed out. It was a $446 bet to win $23,000. And they gave me an early cash out, 2 legs left of $6,000. I consulted with everybody, including you. And the one that it lost on was a -300. And that's the one you want to let it ride on because you're all right. There's no way that Ravens and Chargers don't score 18 points in the first half of the game, right? They're typically high-scoring games. And honestly, in every single game that the Ravens played this season, only 2 of them where they haven't scored more than 21 points in the first half. So this is a no-brainer. The weather's nice. It's inside. It's an indoor stadium. It's going to hit, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't hit.
Yeah.
He'll pull up the video of me sweating it out, but it was bad, man. It was tough to watch. I mean, the Chargers start off real hot when the first 3 minutes are, knocking at the door. They get that no call, that penalty. I don't know if you saw that, but basically homeboy got trucked when he was out of bounds.
Yeah.
No call. Actually, they got called for a penalty that brought him back 15 yards because the fuss after it. So that, in my eyes, was a touchdown taken off the board. They had to settle for a field goal. And then there was just nothing. There was no real motion after that.
Yeah.
It was just punt, punt, punt. And then there was turnovers by the Chargers. It was just a terrible game. And honestly, I turned off the game after that, naturally, after a bad beat, right? Yeah. And the score was still 10-3. Yeah. And the end of the third quarter.
It was bad, dude. It was bad, man. It was bad.
Anyway.
Just to end the bad beats, I had Chargers plus 3.5, and Zay Flowers ripped off that touchdown, even where the coach was yelling, like, go down, and Zay Flowers said, fuck it, like, I'm scoring.
Yeah.
So I even lost there. So, I mean, I just got my dick kicked in every way Saturday and Sunday for sure.
It was definitely a week for bad beat, guys. Yeah. But as we always say, that happens in this type of, environment. It is what it is. Yeah. You're making these bets to obviously win all this money. But if it doesn't happen, Adrian said it best the day we were talking. And once you bet that money, in my eyes, it's kind of gone.
It's gone. Yeah, right? That's how you got to see it. Yeah.
So when people like cash out the $6,000, technically, I don't think that's obviously I could have cashed out for that $6,000, but I already signed that $400 off. And obviously, there was only one leg after that. That $6,000 would have probably been somewhere around $14,000.
Yeah.
So obviously, we ended up with nothing. But in my eyes, it was smart to just let it ride.
Yeah.
Like in your case, you didn't have a really cash out. It sucks ETN couldn't get that one yard, dude. That's
crazy.
That's insane, dude. That's sickening.
Yeah.
That'll make you go to bed early. That's how you get to bed so early.
Or not go to bed. Yeah.
I see you got sleeves on today.
Yeah, I wore sleeves today.
I wore long sleeves.
Yeah. No matter how many sleeves I wear, you always wear more sleeves.
Yeah, dude.
I wear a tank top, you wear a short sleeve. I wear a short sleeve, you wear a sweater. I'm gonna see if I wear a sweater, what the fuck you're gonna wear. A fucking pea coat.
Anyway, so it's good I guess it's fair to say it sucks, right?
Yeah. Ready to put it behind me though. Let's have a funeral for the
You're fine.
Exactly.
You're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
That's just how I feel the entire slate. So.
That's what I needed, dude. I needed you to play that.
All right, guys. Moving on. We want to do a quick recap, obviously, of Week 12. I guess it's not quick since we had all teams playing in the NFL, right? Yeah. Thursday, we're not ashamed to say it. We went 0-3. Things just didn't pan out how we really thought it was. Green Bay coming out extremely hot. Jordan Love looking like he's been playing under Aaron Rodgers now. He had some dots, some targets for sure.
Definitely.
And his O-line seemed to step up too. He had a decent amount of time
between
every snap. I always look at that too. What's your thought on it?
I was impressed by Jordan Love. I've been impressed with him the last couple weeks. It was nice to see Christian Watson kind of finally show up. I feel like we've been waiting for that all year. Jaden Reed's been a pleasant surprise. I don't know that anybody thought he would be Jordan Love's go-to guy when you got a team with Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs.
Yeah.
But honestly, without Aaron Jones, to me, that's a really impressive win. I wasn't expecting it. I don't think anybody was expecting it, I'll be honest with you, because this was it. Everyone's like, this is the Lions Thanksgiving party. They finally get one. They're always the jokers, and now it's finally their time. Thanksgiving in Detroit, they were excited. Like, I didn't expect that with how flat they came out last week against the Bears, but I guess expect the unexpected, right?
Sorry, Detroit. I mean, that kind of sucks, but I even saw, obviously we took the loss. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But I saw BetMGM tweeted it was one of their best wins ever.
Oh, I'm sure.
So
I'm sure
everybody was on Detroit -7.
And normally we don't bet with the public, so that tells you what we squared up and it didn't go out well for us.
Moving on, obviously the second game. You want to talk about that?
Man, the Cowboys look good. I don't even know if I can deny it anymore. I know they're playing bad teams, and that's some people's narrative out there, with wins against the Giants, Panthers, and Commanders is that they're playing bad teams.
Right.
But at this point, we got to talk about how bad they're beating the shit out of these bad teams. You know what I'm saying? They are spanking these dudes. I really thought we'd get a lot more from Sam Howell, to be honest.
He was on his back in the backfield the whole time again.
I know, and I know that's not his fault, but yeah, he didn't make as many throws as I thought he would make. Let's put it that way. Dak made a few more than I thought he was going to make. I thought maybe Dak would cool down a little bit, but right now, let's all give it up for Dak because he's dialed.
He is.
Dak is dialed in, and I don't know who they got next. But I know I've definitely heard that the schedule gets tougher. I know they got to play the Eagles again, and I'm definitely curious to see how he plays against these big dogs.
Yeah. It could be. He is nasty. He's
nasty.
He's very good. I just don't think he really. I don't think he gets the attention he really fully deserves. When you look at the 49ers, man, typically, what do you think of? CMC.
For sure.
Brock
Defense.
Purdy. Yeah, their defense.
Trent Williams.
Yeah. There's so many, star players in that team. So I think maybe he gets faded out a little, as opposed to go to DK Metcalf, nothing against Tyler Lockett and those guys.
Yeah, but he's the guy.
He's the guy. You know what I mean? And there's just so many guys.
Yeah, and he's built like Kyle Loudon. So everybody talks about that one.
I heard Metcalf actually retweeted that. So
yeah, I'm sure he did.
No, that's fair. All right. Well, that wraps up Thursday.
All right, just making sure. Say that again.
Hey, don't come over here touching my
Beat the
stuff.
fuck out of you, boy.
I'm the operator.
I gotta make sure.
I know
You
all the
did what
buttons.
you did last time.
Oh no, you did that.
And you did that.
No.
What'd you do, Kale?
Why do you say that?
He hit
You're automatically going against me. Nah, it could have been my fault. It was
It could've-
the recording button.
You weren't
He
recording.
didn't press it.
No.
He's our guy. He's literally why he's in here.
Un-recorded.
Is to press the record
Oh,
button.
you pressed
bro.
He
un-
thought I didn't record.
Is Adrian the producer, the recording guy?
All of it.
Miami.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think that. Let's talk about Doyle. I know it's Boyle. I don't think that necessarily he's worse than Zach Wilson. I actually think he played fairly decent considering the fact they're playing against Miami. You know, like we said, Miami is known to beat up on dog water teams.
Yeah.
And I don't think Zach Wilson would have had any different outcome, if not worse.
Yeah. I mean, saying someone is not worse than Zach Wilson is like, it's like the least thing you could say about a person, you know? Like, there's not much less you could say about a person. It's like, hey, he's not. That's like, you know, I don't even know what to compare it to. It's like saying someone's like not as bad as Hitler, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I do. That was actually kind of going off to the bad beat thing. I had the under in that game. That was
did
my
you?
play.
Oh,
And obviously, see
shit.
what Mozart
Yeah,
does.
Mozart. Yeah.
He just, I like to call him Mozart.
Yeah.
The only reason why he did that is because he's selfish and arrogant.
Yeah.
I'm playing, dude. I'm playing Mozart, but I will say that you did cost a lot of people under. I know you don't care, but you know Miami's known for that, so the under is kind of a wash play. And the reason why I like the under so much is because I like the over so much. I was like, the over's gonna hit. There's no way Miami doesn't score 30 points by themselves, whatever. And then I was like, you know what? Everybody else thinks the same.
But yeah, that game sucked. That game sucked. Let's be honest. Like,
Yeah.
that was a great Black Friday game because it just felt like a half off NFL game, like straight to DVD. Tim
That's
Boyle.
fair, dude.
Nobody should have to watch fucking Tim Boyle play quarterback. And I hear what you're saying about him not being as worse than Zach Wilson, but I'd rather watch Zach Wilson play. It's hard to talk about it, but I'll be honest with you, man. Nice to see Calvin Ridley get going. I think this is his second game scoring in a row.
Yeah.
Nice to see him get going. Trevor Lawrence looked pretty good. But you know what impresses me the most? And no one's really been able to stop CJ Stroud, and I'm not saying that the Jags did. The Jags defense looks really good to me.
Yeah.
I think they're playing really good football, and I think that's going to come, like, I think the Jags are absolute contenders for that reason.
Yeah.
Because I think Trevor Lawrence is good enough, and I don't think he's playing his best football. But if
Chiefs and the Raiders. Raiders been coming out hot the first half of every game, basically.
Yep.
When they played Miami, same thing. Chiefs, they were up, honestly, pretty much until the end of the second half. I don't know what it is about Connell in the second half of the game, man, but he just started to look real bad. Couldn't get any real completions. I mean, I think he had, 6 or 7?
yeah,
The second half?
they look bad. They look bad.
And
They were
Devontae
due.
Adams
They were
was-
due.
Yeah, I mean, Devontae Adams was getting a little frustrated too. It's all on his face, but I mean, great team.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is the one where this is the due game of the week. You know, like the Raiders were due to look bad. They didn't look bad against the Dolphins, in my opinion. They stayed in that game the whole time.
Yeah.
And then they won those 2 games against the Jets and the Giants. And so they were due to look bad. And the Chiefs were due to look good. The Chiefs haven't looked good. Like, they haven't looked good. They threw away that game against the Eagles. They just haven't looked good. And
They dropped a few passes on this game too.
yeah, for sure. But they definitely got it going. Let's be honest, they got it going. Pacheco looked great. He was running hard. He had a couple scores. They definitely got it going. And I'm scared if I'm the rest of the AFC. I'm just scared because seeing the Chiefs win all these games and not be anywhere near at their best as defending Super Bowl champions has got to be scary. If you're in
Yeah,
the
for
AFC.
sure. It's a little nerve wracking for sure. Andy Reid and them probably,
Because they don't turn it up into full gear until like a couple weeks from now. That's just the truth. Like,
Yeah.
they're not playing for November and October. So yeah, I'm a little scared if I'm the rest of the AFC seeing that.
Cool, man. I kind of skipped over the Saints and the Falcons. I don't know if you want to talk about that too much. I don't think there's much to talk about, but if you want to say anything about it.
Derek Carr is so bad. I just can't get over how bad Derek Carr is. It's crazy to me. I actually think at this point Jameis Winston is a better option.
Oh, yeah. I'd agree with that.
And
for
it's
sure.
just crazy, but I know they can't give up on Derek Carr, and I know they're still in contention for the division, so it's fine. But he's horrible every time this guy gets in the red zone. He's horrible. He's one of the worst red zone quarterbacks I've ever seen in my life.
I think his projection and his attention to what's going on is bar none. Not on top. Honestly, though, I mean, hats off to Josh Allen, man. Stephon Diggs, they were due.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs especially. He needed some yardage. He's got a touchdown too. He did his thing. And then on the defensive side of things, I think they did a really good job at
In the beginning, for sure.
Yeah, slowing Swift up. They were stopping him a lot. I mean, I think all around it was just a great game to watch. It was also pouring rain first half of the game. I don't know if you noticed that, but what's your thoughts on it?
I mean, it was the game of the week for sure. We all agreed on that. Game of the week, one of the best games of the year. It was awesome.
Yeah,
it was a really cool game, and I'll be honest, when the Eagles started slow, I was like, you know what? This makes sense. Like, the Eagles are so due for a game like this where they don't show up. It's just hard to show up with the same level of intensity every week. It was 17 to 7.5, and I'm like, this makes perfect sense, man. The Bills got this. It's just, and then this is the thing, bro. Jalen Hurts doesn't do that. Like, Jalen Hurts doesn't do that. If Jalen Hurts is flat as fuck in the first half, I almost feel like you can guarantee he's coming out with a just unreal level of intensity in the second half. And he did, man. I mean, he had an amazing, amazing second half. He looked amazing. I don't know how anybody can hate on this guy, but I'd made a post on Twitter asking, is Justin Herbert the most overrated player in the NFL? And all the responses were like, no, Jalen Hurts is. And I just don't understand that. Dude. But people don't like Jalen Hurts, I guess.
I know. I don't get it either, man. Maybe it's because of his lack of emotion.
Yeah,
it makes him not likable. But if you're going to measure him as a quarterback and a quarterback alone, I think he's an animal. Cool, man. Last one, Ravens and Chargers. I don't want to talk too much about it just because it was a pretty dry game. Obviously, that was one of my bad beats. Zay Flowers is awesome. We actually called out Zay Flowers' first touchdoam. That was nice. And I think, OBJ was getting a lot of targets too, which is pretty nice to see.
But we're not really taking a break, right? That's pretty much it.
I'm good.
Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. Now I don't know if there'll be snow,